Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
Honestly, I think you should do that.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
And a Happy New Year. All right. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. This episode is brought to you proudly by Pride Roofing and Construction, LVL Creative Studios. Thank you for joining in with us today. You got our regular co-hosts here, Chris Kringle, and I don't know, me, Christian. And
The
today,
Jolly Giant himself.
Today, because of the lineup that we have here, we are filming our Christmas special. We're going to have a little bit of fun with it. We're not going to be diving into the boring topics that you guys don't like with management, leadership, things I actually care about. and we're going to be talking a little bit about Christmas, the origin of Christmas, favorite Christmas movies, having a little bit of fun with it. I hope you guys enjoy what we have for you. But, JD, you've got the roadmap. Take us away.
I sure do have a roadmap, but I'm going to take us off script immediately.
Oh, this is great.
Because I want to hear your take. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
It is 100% a Christmas movie.
Is it just because it takes place at Christmas time?
It's Christmas Eve, yes. They celebrate Christmas in the movie. And you watch it at Christmas time. It's a Christmas movie.
Fair enough.
I need to go to the Nakatomi Plaza. It's a real place. I want to go up there. I want to recreate all of the scenes.
You want to crawl through all the ducks and everything?
Yes, I do. Die Hard is amazing. Die Hard
It's
is
a good
amazing.
one. I really do like that movie.
Wait, you actually saw it?
I have seen that one.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I love the Die Hard series, is because there is no point where the action stops.
No.
The beginning of the movie has a little bit of like scripting and like learn about John McClane's family and his trouble with his wife. And then the whole rest of the movie is bang, bang, shoot 'em up, drive big things, explosions, pow. It's awesome.
Well, and one of my favorite actors is Alan Rickman.
Of course. Snape. Severus Snape. Dumbledore. Sorry.
I mean, I loved him in that role because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. But he's just, I always thought he was incredible.
You want to see why am I drawing a blank here?
I have no idea.
Never mind, everybody. Beep.
Beep.
All right,
Just
we're
put
back.
in one of those like
And
we're
we're back. All right.
But sorry, I wanted to ask the question
Great
because
chart.
I've seen it all over, and then I think that was it the director Lachlan might know, or he can look for us. Came out and was like, "Die Hard is not a Christmas movie," and everyone was just like, "Boo!
Boo that man.
Boo this man!"
No, how is it not a Christmas movie?
I mean, it doesn't have any Christmas themes.
Besides the fact that it's, total takeover of Nakatomi Plaza on Christmas Eve during a Christmas party.
Exactly. I mean, I don't get it. I agree. I was like, it's definitely a Christmas movie.
The director directed Predator and The Hunt for Red October. I don't know his name, though.
But did he say it wasn't a Christmas movie? So while we're on movies, favorite version of The Grinch.
Ooh, that's a hard question. Definitely the Jim Carrey version.
Of course.
Well, just because it's amazing, right? And
Because Jim Carrey's incredible as Grinch.
He's an incredible human in general, but
True.
as a Grinch, he's perfect. And how many taglines you can pick up from that movie?
That's it, I'm not going.
Ooh, yes.
That's it, I'm not going.
An award. They didn't tell me there was an award.
Our producer has an answer.
It wasn't intended as a Christmas movie, but it's up to the audience to say.
Oh, okay. I read that quote wrong.
The
then.
audience has spoken.
The audience has spoken. It's a Christmas movie. You heard it here.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have something for the burnt out dads around Christmas time. A little bit of action, little bit of Christmas, whole lot of guns.
It's a great movie. But the Jim Carrey version of The Grinch is definitely my favorite.
The new
by
one's
far.
great.
with
It's
Benedict Cumberbatch's
Benedict
Grinch.
Cumberbatch, and it's got like the whole sound. All of the songs in there are written by what's his name? I can't think of him right now. But anyways, it's that one's incredible. It's not Jim Carrey. Right?
So I went in. I think it was last year. I finally watched the animated one that came out with Benedict Cumberbatch, and I finally sat down and was like, I'll watch it and see what this is all about. And I was blown away.
Yeah.
It is such a great telling of the story that like you can't really draw any correlations between the two different Grinches because they're completely different versions of the like. Even though it's the same story, the telling is so remarkably different that I respect them for both.
Pharrell Williams. Pharrell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All of the songs on that movie are him.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
But anyways, yeah, no, they're both great in their own ways. The original one that was made, in like the 70s or 80s or whatever that I have on VHS is pretty awesome with the original songs and whatever, but
interesting. I'm trying to think if I can
it's
remember
animated.
That one.
Yeah. But
oh, yeah. No, that one is great too. I love the Jim Carrey one.
But what's a better character in like all of the universe of film than the Grinch?
I mean, he's a great character. But Dr. Seuss was brilliant that way.
Yeah. Well, he's just what everybody technically is, but they pretend not to be around Christmas time.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? Like, there are some people that are over the top. My sister's one of these people. Absolutely loves Christmas. She decorates in like October for Christmas, right? But
I have to contain it.
I feel like
I bottle it up.
There's a lot of corporatization and money making that goes on along Christmas. There's a lot of loss.
Christmas lights.
Lost. Well, like the purpose is lost, and then maybe that's part of this episode is learning a little bit about the history. But the purpose of Christmas is a little bit lost around the let's get a whole bunch of crap type of thing.
The commercialization of it.
Yes. So, but that's one thing that we've been trying to do with the kids is we always will pick up. Those, what do they call them? Like there's little angels, they're hanging on trees, and then there's...
Your angel trees and things like that?
Those types of things. We always pick up those ones. We always pick out the best gifts that we can. That's the first set of gifts that we always get every year is taking the kids to go and pick up something for them. And last year we went to, what is the rescue mission? No.
Okay.
It was the one that's in Fort Collins. I can't remember. And we served
Salvation
some food.
Army, I think.
Yeah, we served food and did stuff like that. So we're trying to at least get the kids to understand that there's more to this than what they get. But that's all they really talk about is what am I going to get?
The stuff.
Yeah, the stuff. So
everybody likes stuff.
So let's rewind a little bit, take away the commercialization. Let's figure out what Christmas is all about.
So... I mean, there's a few different places that Christmas started. If we're talking about prior to the spread of Christianity through Europe, the Norse culture celebrated Yule, which is... I have notes so that I don't mess it up.
This one has to do with solstice, correct?
Yep.
Transition of the darkest time of the year.
Yeah, the Norse celebrated Yule. It was a festival marked by feasting, gift-giving, and burning of massive Yule logs as a symbol of hope for a warmer, brighter days ahead. And then the Romans honored Saturnalia, which was a week-long festival dedicated to Saturn, who was the god of agriculture and filled with revelry, gift exchanges, and reversal of social roles. Interesting. I wish I had done a little bit more research on that. But a lot of these celebrations, Yule and things like that, you're celebrating the longest. It happened on the longest day of the year, so the winter equinox.
Longest night of the year.
Yes, night of the year. Excuse me. So they're celebrating the equinox because it's the transition into the day starting to get longer and, the marking of that transition and the solstice to now we're going to start thinking about the regrowth and things like that and what we need to prepare for the spring and to have a successful planting and harvesting, and it was to bring good fortune on the year so that when we were, our crops and those things flourish. It was it was an appeal to the gods. And then as Christianity spread through Europe, early leaders of the Christian church aligned. They found it practical to align our sacred days with existing pagan festivals. It was about not erasing tradition, but rather adapting them to foster unity and understanding. And then over time, Christian celebrations and customs began to merge with rich cultural practices of these older festivals.
Right. So all that being said, what does Christmas mean to you, JD?
So Christmas is a time to you look back on the year, things that you're grateful for, and then I grew up Christian. So Christmas is about the celebration of Christ's birth. It's not technically when his birth actually happened, but it's about
it's not marked anywhere in the Bible as to exactly when it is, but it lines up with when the North Star was over top of Bethlehem, and it also falls into this, what you just talked about, the solstices and stuff like that.
The Bible doesn't list a specific date for Jesus' birth, and Christians didn't focus on celebrating it initially. But in the 4th century, December the 25th was chosen to align with existing solstice festivals. The date marked for the Roman wow, that's going to be one of those words today, huh? Observance of...
That was me rewinding,
It's
so you can start over.
Latin, so I'm going to butcher this, but it's Dies Natalis Solis Invicti, I believe, or the birthday of the unconquered sun. It symbolized the return to longer, brighter days from the darkest point of the year, fitting the parallel for the birth of Christ as the light of the world.
And that's, it's always held true to that.
Yeah.
For everybody, regardless of your religious affiliations. It marks the end of the year, things coming to a close, the darkest nights of the year coming to a close, so you can start over again, fresh, rejuvenated, so on and so forth. Time to spend with family and reconnect, and so on and so forth, right? Yep. But for me, I'm a Christian. I've grown up in a Christian household. We've never taken away any of the pagan pieces of things. We always put the lights up. We always put the tree up. We decorate the tree, give the gifts and all that good stuff. But for me, it's always been a celebration of basically 3 words: peace, hope, and joy, right? It's, as a devout Christian, that's the most important time of the year outside of Easter for me, which is, it's the celebration of promises and prophecies coming to fruition. Right, it's the hope of the world, the Messiah has entered the story, and it's important. And and that's where birthday celebrations are important, because you're celebrating a person. But the reason that it's a huge, nobody can disagree with that in all of at least the last 2,000 years of history. Jesus is a real person, walked the earth. There are thousands upon whatever documented. Interactions and so on and so forth. So nobody can really disagree with that. And also he regardless, like I said, of religious affiliation, you can't say that he didn't shake the world by him being here, right? It literally marks our calendar, right? Zero. It went from whatever BC to AD.
Sure did.
Right. So that's how our entire clock that we work off of as an entire planet essentially starts. Right.
How the most universals do, because of the spread of Christianity through the church and how much power the church had in the early, parts of civilization. Of there's not really any disputing that of, how much the world changed because of the existence of this person. My life is completely different. I have gone through every single stage that a Christian can go through, to the point of I'd actually deconstructed my faith a while ago. And landed back where I am now. I went all the way out of the church. And, now I am back to considering myself a Christian. And so Christmas time kind of plays through that for me, of like how important this time is and all those things. And so, yeah, I mean, we celebrated in lots of different ways. We do the Christmas trees, and we do, I think my favorite tradition is every year on Christmas Eve we go to one of the bigger like light displays. So we've gone out to
The Greeley Griswolds.
I miss that he does that. It kills me. So the Greeley Griswolds, for those that don't know, he had a great big, insane.
Yeah. I got to talk to the guy that owned the house once when
Really?
we went, and I asked him, when do you start setting up? And he said he has to start around August to get it all set up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because he did the one year where he did Halloween too. I think, yeah, the one year.
I didn't know that he did Halloween too,
He
so
did-
obviously crammed it that time, but like the
It
preparation
was
for
right
that
towards
is...
the end of the year. Like one of the last few times he did it, he did Halloween one year too. But yeah, he went through and sold everything. It was all listed. It was kind of a big deal.
Yeah. And most of them were handmade, crafted, painted, all that. So
Yeah, he did a
shout
ton
out
of
to
works.
you. I don't remember your name, but everybody knows you as the Greeley Griswold. So good stuff.
Yeah, people, that neighborhood, I would have hated living in a neighborhood at Christmas.
It's just lines of cars every night.
Every night I think he turns them on like right after Thanksgiving.
I think so. Yeah.
And then they were on until like the second week of January. And between dark, at dusk really, to about, I think he shut them off at like midnight. It was just constant. And then one of his neighbors across the street one year, he just put up ditto and put an arrow towards the house.
My kind of guy.
I
Yeah.
was just like, yeah, how do you compete against that?
Right.
But we always go to like Chatfield Farms or Denver Botanical Gardens.
Nice. Yeah, last year we went to the Fort Collins Walking Gardens, and they have a pretty cool light display and all sorts of stuff. They decorate it's right off of CSU campus, where they do all the college not agriculture, but horticulture stuff. So there's all these gardens and all this stuff, and you just walk through. It's about a half a mile walk, but that's a really cool display, so I'd encourage anybody to do that one.
I didn't even realize that they had one there.
There's another one right off of I-25, kind of by the Johnstown exit. You can see it from the road, but you have to drive back in, and you go around this lake, and it's a pretty cool setup. But that one's specifically a nonprofit. They charge you to go in, and all of the proceeds are donated to certain charities. I can't remember which ones they are, but
I thought that was the one right off of the Windsor exit.
it might be. I might be thinking it's farther south, but
Yeah, I think it's technically in Windsor because it's right there at it's like an archery.
something like
It's
that.
something with Colorado youth hunting or archery. I don't remember what. But it's right there in Windsor, and it's a drive-through one. And it's a really good one. We did that one a couple years ago, and I really had a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah. No, lights, we take the kids out at night, mostly weekend nights, because weekdays a little chaotic, but we take them out weekend nights, check out different neighborhoods. We're always looking. We always do a pretty big display. It's always a tradition. It's just like with Halloween. Every year we buy at least one new something. And so we just get more and more festive, I guess. So, but what's really cool about where we just moved is almost everybody on the street also does pretty cool displays. So it's
awesome.
Yeah. I don't know. It just kind of makes you feel joyous. It makes you feel happy. I don't know the best way to describe it, but it just, it reminds, it's like nostalgia. It reminds you of all the different good memories surrounding that time of year and lights and whatever. Right?
So I don't know if you feel this way, but like it felt like when you and I would have been in like elementary, middle school, the lights were a huge deal, and everybody did them. And then it tapered way off. But now I think you're starting to see millennials becoming homeowners.
Yeah.
And you're starting to see lights come back to neighborhoods. And I'm super excited about it.
I guess I can kind of agree. I didn't really notice because there's a lot of my life where I didn't really think back on good things all the time. You know, I was too focused on being an idiot young kid. So maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. I don't know. But I kind of feel like it did taper off a little bit.
Yeah. Actually, that's what I was going to ask. Is there a big tradition that like your family does or something that you remember that?
Well, some of my best memories are around Christmas. When we were kids, we were not really super well off financially. So we didn't go on vacations. We went on one real family vacation my whole life, essentially, that was not to my grandma's house. So we go back to Iowa to my grandma Lundy's house, and then we go to my grandma Ardell's house. A couple of days kind of bounce back and forth. But when we were at Grandma Lundy's house, you know, it was awesome because it was, you know, I think there was 12 or 13 of us cousins, and we'd all sleep on the floor in the living room, and everybody would arrive at different times, but it was always basically like everybody somehow managed to land on the same night in the middle of the night almost every time. So you just kind of showed up and there's lumps of bodies all over the place. You just kind of sneak in and whatever. But we would, you know, my parents would always figure out a way that we could stay there for about 5 days to a week or so. And I would go hunting with my uncles sometimes. We'd go sledding. And in Iowa, you know, it's very hilly. And so they have to do terraces with their fields. So they would essentially, like you'd see one row of the field goes around, and then there'd be a jump, and there'd be another row and stuff like that. So we would build these like lips at the edge of the terraces and just skyrocket off of these things and whatever. And then, you know, I can still smell, anytime I smell a wood burning stove, it brings me straight back to my grandma's house. And, you know, we'd have big meals, you know, and stuff like that. And everybody worked together and we just hang out. That was the best memories, I think, of my entire childhood was going back to Grandma Lundy's house out on the farm. But it always happened around Christmas. That kind of fell apart when families moved further away, and then my grandma got older and had to move away and stuff like that. But we still try to hold those traditions. We always have a Christmas Eve. Well, it used to be that it was always on Christmas Eve until all of us kids had a lot more of our own kids, and you know, you want to have your own traditions and whatever. So we always have a Christmas party with my immediate family. That's a lot of fun. Christmas Eve services at the church are always fun. You get to sing carols and listen about, you know, the stories, you know, from whichever book, because, you know, the first 4 books of the New Testament all basically say the same story at the very beginning, just from a different person. Yep. You know, and so hear those things, and then the lights, that's all fun. My family, my little family at home, we do fun stuff. You know, we always wear matching pajamas and wear them all day long and watch movies. Basically, after you're done with Christmas unwrapping gifts and stuff, we basically play with the toys and then watch Christmas movies like the whole day. And then we eat Chinese food at night on Christmas Day.
Okay.
It's always been Chinese food. I think one year we just thought it would be fun, and then it just stuck. You know, so that's pretty fun.
Fair enough.
But yeah, you know, I don't know if I'd call them traditions, just things that we like to do.
Yeah. We do the lights on Christmas Eve, and then we always open one present, which is always pajamas.
We did that when I was a kid. We always opened one present. My mom was like, "Nope, it has to be that one," and it was usually pajamas or something that was like a matching thing with all the kids.
Yep, it's always like some sort of matching. You're supposed to wear it the next day for pictures, and you know, when you're opening all the presents and that. So that has stuck even into, you know, even to now, of like we still. That's one thing that Mom really enjoys doing is picking out.
Actually, without thinking about it, we've adopted the same thing. So the matching thing is we do that the night before, so that people can wear it and wake up in it, take pictures in it, and whatever. So yeah, that's funny.
So we do that every year, and then you know, so much is kind of same but different. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's changed in the last few years, but that's one of the fun things that we still do.
He said do.
I knew it was coming. So in this vein, I have a question, and Christmas is my favorite. I'm just going to say that now. But how do you feel about Christmas music?
Oh, I mean, I'll listen to it if it's on somebody else's radio in their car. And I am not listening to it regularly.
So, I worked in retail for a lot of years.
Oh, yeah. So you burnt yourself out of Mariah Carey real fast.
Not just. First off, there's like 12 Christmas songs. Let's just be totally real. Like, there's 12 to 13 that are all basically they're the same song.
Just remade by different artists. So
Correct. So working in retail, it turns on November 15th and goes to January 2nd.
Why January 2nd?
I have no idea, but the retail places I worked, that was the calendar for it because we got them on CDs. We had this awful thing called Muzak. Muzak. It's literally the CD that plays and they can put ads. And anybody that puts that in their business, you're the devil. Don't do that. But we'd have to put the CD in, and that was the time. It had the time printed on the top, so we'd have to put that in. And we'd always yeah. And we'd put it to the side unless we knew the district manager was coming. And they're like, oh, crap.
Shame.
And we'd change it. She'd
You're
be
supposed to be poisoning people's ears. No, I mean, I like to sing the Christmas carols. I like when I love carols. I actually like to open up the door and listen to it. I think it's cool. Michael does caroling basically professionally. He's amazing at it. But
yeah.
But anyways, yeah. I mean, I'm not listening to Christmas music for fun. I'll tell you that much.
No, I have one Christmas album that I would choose to listen to. And it's from a group called the Bar J Wranglers. So
Bar J Wranglers.
Yeah, they are. There used to be a whole host of Bar something Wrangler. Like Colorado Springs, we had the Bar W Wranglers. And so, but Bar J were the fellas that you'd go for dinner and a show, and they'd perform music during the show. And they were the guys at Jackson Hole.
Okay. Is it a quartet?
I think it's a quartet.
Nice.
But it was also they'd play guitar and stuff. And so that's the one Christmas album that I like every year. I'm actually disappointed my car doesn't have a CD player this year, and you can't get they don't perform anymore, and they've never converted it onto any platform. I'm like, oh man. But that one I will seek out every year and listen to. But for the most part, and I'll listen to it once, maybe twice, and then I'm like, okay, that's enough of that. Because I laugh every time I see a Mariah Carey meme in November of her thawing out of a giant block of ice.
She's thawing out. Yeah, it's so funny because I mean, you go into retail stores, if not every one of them, every other one of them is Mariah Carey singing "All I Want for Christmas Is You." It's there's a lot of people who've remade a lot of Christmas songs, but that one is almost always playing.
Is almost always playing. And you're just like, bro, there's so many talented artists that have done Christmas albums. How about we give somebody else a chance?
All right, well, let's spin. I know this might not be your topic because you're a music guy. But let's talk about your favorite Christmas movies.
Favorite Christmas movies?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have not... I mean, we've talked about a ton of times, I guess is the better way to say that, of I am not a movie guy. And much to the chagrin of my peers and you.
Me?
And lots of other people, I'm not a huge movie guy. I mean, if I have to pick a favorite, it's definitely Jim Carrey's Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Yeah.
That one is... I still laugh every time I watch it. Even I can watch it 2 or 3 times in a year.
That's one where the kids will literally put it on at any time of the year. It doesn't have to be at Christmas, even though it's a Christmas movie, because it's so good. Yeah.
It's just, he's great in it, and there's so many amazing one-liners. I quote the "That's it, I'm not going" all the time. I'll literally say that in the office. We'll be talking, and I'll just walk away and say that.
Hate, 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 hate.
Loathe entirely.
Yeah, so The Grinch is amazing, but it's still not my favorite
Okay.
Christmas movie. My favorite, hands down, far and away Christmas movie that I have to watch every single year is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I have to watch it. It's just, and the thing about it for me is that every time I watch it, I find something new to laugh about, and nothing ever gets old.
All right, I'll make you a deal. I'll watch it. I know that I've seen it one time, but it would have been easily 20 years ago. So I will make you a deal and watch it this year.
It's so funny.
And then, how do you feel about the new one coming out?
Which one?
They're making another Christmas Vacation.
Really? I didn't know that. With National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, like the original
It's
cast?
not with the original cast. It's like with a new cast.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Well, National Lampoon's like when Animal House was I think their first movie, and the vacation movies all grew, and Aubrey was a different person, in different movies and stuff. Like Clark Griswold, and I remember his wife's name. Anyways, they always stayed the same, but the kids sometimes were interchangeable and whatever. But those always kept to a theme, and they were really funny. But then National Lampoon made a bunch of random, crappy movies after that. So I'm not really impressed with that brand of movies. But that movie in particular, and Vegas Vacation, because it's just hilarious, are just amazing. So
Okay.
yeah.
So, Christmas Story?
Christmas Story is great. We always watch it. Actually, that's John Abrachta's favorite movie, in case you want to know.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know, he just loves it. So we had a discussion about best Christmas movies, and he's like, actually, that's just my favorite movie, period. But Christmas Story, they came out with a Christmas Story 2. It's actually really good.
Is
It
it?
has the original cast in it, but they're all grown up. It's not.
wow.
It's not like. It's not timeless like the first movie is, but it's really good. It's really good. They did a good job with it. But yeah, no. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Grinch, Jim Carrey version has to be watched. Elf has to be watched. Jingle All the Way, one of the most underrated Christmas movies of all time, has to be watched. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
Right, and he's this businessman, and his son asks him for a Turbo Man because that's the new toy. It's a TV show and whatever. He forgets about it, and the whole movie is him trying to find the Turbo Man doll. And it's amazing.
He partners up with someone like partway through, doesn't he?
Sinbad.
Sinbad, there it is. Okay.
He's a mailman, and dude, that's one of the most underrated Christmas movies ever. It's great. Actually, 8-Bit Christmas that came out recently is incredible.
8-Bit Christmas?
Yeah, it starts in the 80s, and it's right when Nintendo came out. And long story short is they come up with this scheme of how the kids are going to get a Nintendo because their parents wouldn't buy them because all the church, the people at the church were campaigning against it because they said it was the devil in a box, stuff like that.
Of course.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. It's one you could watch repeatedly every Christmas. It like actually makes it into the this is a Christmas movie type of thing. Yeah.
So the other one that I watch, I just like Tim Allen, so I've liked pretty much everything
Santa
he's
Claus.
in. I haven't disliked any of them, any of the Santa Clauses that he's in.
They're very good. You know, it's funny. I have this weird thing where I don't remember a whole lot from basically anything past today. Like, for some reason, I'm not thinking about memories all the time. I don't have a lot of childhood memories that come up unless my olfactory senses trigger something like this wood stove at grandma's house and stuff like that, right? Like, there's not a whole lot of things that I really remember in detail. But I remember watching the Santa Claus in theaters with my brother, sisters, and my dad. And when he comes walking down that little hallway when they're out, my dad, I've never heard him laugh harder in every experience I've ever had with him my whole life than that time in that theater. I'll never forget that memory ever.
There's so much about that movie I love. One of my most favorite characters in that movie is the Bernard character.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's hysterical.
He's like 1,000 years old.
I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's just like burnout of being an elf. But yet he's the right hand man the whole time. He's great. Yeah.
He's incredible, and I've literally, because of that role, looked for him in other stuff.
Yeah.
Every once in a while when I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, I wonder if he's good in other, and he is.
Yeah.
It's really enjoyable to watch him in other stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of good movies. I always watch the new stuff that comes out. Not all of them make the cut in terms of like I will rewatch this, but everything I listed, I will watch this month if I haven't already watched it.
So the one that I want to see, it came out last year, and I think it was last year, and I didn't get the chance to see
Elf, of course. I've already watched Elf twice, so. Yeah.
We all know about my feelings about Will Ferrell, so we'll just
you can
leave
be
it at
wrong,
that.
JD. It's okay.
You know what? Normally I'd agree with you, but I'm not wrong.
I will die on this hill.
I will die on this hill. Will Ferrell's overrated.
Okay, so crowd. Maybe we should put this in the comments section. Vote.
Sure, vote.
Vote whether Will Ferrell is an amazing actor or not, and whether he's hilarious or not, because this guy thinks he sucks at everything.
I think he's overrated and not particularly funny. That's my true opinion.
List it in the comments below. Smash that like button. Yeah.
Oh no, we're true YouTubers.
If you don't hit the like button right now, your mom will trip over a crack and break her back.
I have seen that before, actually.
Dude, seriously. If you actually love your mother, subscribe to my channel right now.
They say you're
All
gonna
of
die
the-
if you don't watch this video.
Yeah, so-
All the kids' YouTubes, it's just like where they're like doing game reviews or something. It's like
I hate it.
so dumb.
Well, I mean, they're just manipulating the system, so I guess you gotta, appreciate the player, but at the same time, what the frick, man? Oh, you want 1 million views for $4,000? Here's how you do it. Give children ridiculous content and then manipulate their brains into thinking it's a good idea to like it and subscribe to it. So,
I mean, it works.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I can't tell you how many things I have had to unsubscribe to because my kids subscribe to it for that reason. So,
Really?
oh, so many. Anyways, let's stick to Christmas.
Stick to Christmas. I've seen Elf a bunch of times. It's just, I don't know. Again, it's Will Ferrell. Of like,
Goodbye, buddy. Hope you find your dad. Bye, Mr. Narwhal.
I wish I could say I'd try, but I won't.
It's so funny.
I'm sure that there's moments like most of his movies. There's always moments in his movies, but for the most part, I'm just waiting for it to be over. I don't need a hug, no.
I'm gonna strap you in a chair, make your eye
Just
use one of those
desensitize
machines,
me.
and I'm just gonna blast it on a huge TV repeatedly. Nothing but Will Ferrell SNL, Will Ferrell movies.
Will Ferrell SNL is great. I'm not going to discount that he was
Dude,
incredible at that time.
His improv and his stand-up, or not stand-up, but just his ability to perform live he's one of the best that ever did it on SNL. Nobody could tell me that that's not true.
Was Spirited good? That's like a Ryan Reynolds,
I remember that.
Ferrell.
Spirited.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
It's like a Christmas movie that they did, I think.
Some reviews were pretty.
I'm
Oh,
sure
really?
I'll
Those
watch.
Christmas
I'm
movies
sure
are
I'll
good.
watch the new one, but I'm also like, this is another money grab. The
Red one.
the red one. I'm like, really,
Has done terribly
really,
in
Review-wise.
theaters.
really. Well, it's a good thing that
The
the Rock.
budget-
It's a good thing that The Rock put out another movie simultaneously that just beat every animated movie on the planet. Moana 2.
Oh, really?
First weekend, $350 million. First weekend.
So that was the budget for Red One.
Yeah,
The Rock was $50 million of that budget.
really.
And they have, I think, opening weekend it did $33 million
Holy moly.
on Red One.
I think everybody thinks about it the same way I do. I'm like, you don't need
It's
to
a
pack
little
in.
early.
You don't need to pack in A-list, celebrities into a Christmas movie just for the sake of trying to get people to show up to the theater. Right? Maybe just create something beautiful, some art.
I thought it looked like it was going to be pretty good. I like J.K. Simmons, though.
I do too. He's amazing. But
So I'm going to see it for that reason because
Yeah.
I mean, The Rock being in it is whatever.
Mhm.
J.K. Simmons, I think, is amazing. So I'm going to see it for that reason because I think he's hysterical.
I think one of his funniest characters he's ever played is on I Love You, Man. Have you ever seen that?
Uh-huh.
He's the dad.
Uh-huh.
And his best friend is his gay brother. He's like, "Are you kidding me? Your best friend is my brother." He's like up top. Yeah, yeah, he's great. He's
He
really
was
good.
he was in one called. It's gone. It's a Netflix movie with him and Mark Wahlberg that was really good, and Halle Berry. Not Halle Berry. Yes, it was.
I don't know.
It was really good. Totally off the subject.
Rabbit hole.
Is there a food or drink that you associate to Christmas?
Eggnog.
Eggnog. What do you feel about eggnog?
I love it.
Okay, good.
I absolutely love eggnog.
Do you put seven up in it?
No.
No.
I've never done that. It's good?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I like it. I'll get like the Southern Comfort one.
Yeah.
That one I think is my favorite.
Yeah. Well, we'll do a local shout out. Why can't I think of the name? Meadow Gold.
Okay.
No, it's not Meadow Gold.
No.
What's the people up in Bellevue? What's that? Why can't I think of it?
They do Noosa yogurt too.
Yeah, Noosa Australian yogurt is produced right there. Why am I drawing a blank here? But taste that. I'll bring it for you because I go and I'll buy I'll literally drive out there. What's that?
Evan Williams?
No, that's a whiskey. That's a whiskey.
What are you drinking over there, Christian?
No.
Just look up Noosa yogurt and it'll tell you who the dairy is attached to it.
It's not Meadow Gold. Anyways, try that and tell me it's not the best you've ever had in your whole life.
Really?
I'm not.
Morning Fresh Dairy.
Morning Fresh
There
Dairy.
it is, Morning Fresh.
Morning Fresh Dairy. Thank you for being amazing. Thank you for creating the best yogurt of all time. And
I didn't realize Morning Fresh was Noosa also. Are they?
yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah. No, it's there. And actually, you can go there. We took the kids there and we did a whole tour. They have like their milking room is the craziest thing ever. So like it's like an assembly line that's in it's like a rotating carousel. So like the cows walk in, they like clean their udders, they plug these things in, but it travels with them and it goes slow enough that it literally automatically milks them as they move through this carousel, and then they pop off and walk out. It's amazing. It's crazy how cool it is. So.
But they have the best eggnog you've ever had.
Hands down, far and away, I've never tasted anything like it.
Interesting. Like I
I've
said,
tasted a lot of eggnog.
I have too. The SoCo is my favorite. It's the one I search out every year.
Yeah. I used to like that, but I don't drink it anymore. So
I don't drink. I don't put anything. I don't put. Why would I want to ruin eggnog with whiskey?
well, I don't know. That's usually what's at the party is spiked eggnog. So
pass. I'd rather just drink straight eggnog.
Yeah.
Or put a little bit of 7-Up in it.
But no, eggnog, 100% hands down. My mom and sisters also make really good apple cider. So they always will make some apple
Emily?
cider. Yeah, Emmy does. My mom does. Yeah.
I had that one year. I think we were watching movies when we were doing the outside movies.
Yeah.
And I brought some. They did that, and I put some cinnamon fire whiskey in it.
Yeah.
And
it was cinnamon fire.
It was incredible.
Yeah. So they do that, but no, it's I can't not have eggnog in the fridge at all times through the month of December. It's just a thing. So.
It's incredible. I love it.
Which actually I'm failing right now because I ran out, so I'm gonna have to go to Morning Fresh right after this. Just kidding.
He's like, and I'm out.
I gotta go.
Is there anything else that you associate with Christmas? Is there anything that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Christmas represents a lot of things, but it all boils down to the same thing I said. It's a manifestation of the three words: peace, hope, and joy. And that's why you see all those words in people's yards all over the place. It's promises made, promises kept for Christian believers. That's what this really symbolizes, embodies. And I really like the symbolism and the fact that they didn't try to remove the old traditions, because celebrating the solstices and essentially like let's come together and let's appreciate that we've made it through the darkest time of the year. And then let's move forward together into the lightest time of the year. I think that's a big deal. I think that symbolism really helps out with just avoiding the seasonal depression that everybody has around, fall into winter and stuff like that. And it's just a good way to keep your hopes high and the morale high, personally and everywhere else in your life, by celebrating and having a reason to celebrate. So
Absolutely. I failed to cover one of the biggest arguments that happens around this time of year.
what's that?
Real or fake Christmas tree?
This isn't an argument for me. I always grew up with a real Christmas tree. My parents always did it, but fake Christmas trees weren't really a thing back in the day. It was like maybe they didn't make them, or I don't know. But it was always everybody had a real Christmas tree. I have a fake one. I'll probably always have a fake one. My sister, she got a real one this year. I don't really see the reason to cut down the tree. If you can have a fake one that looks just as good and there's no maintenance, I think I'm cool with that.
So we've done both in my household. We had fake for most of my life, but I think there was a couple years where I was very insistent of like, no, we need to have a real tree. You couldn't pay me to have a real tree.
I remember one year, the tree just drank more water than any of the, like it sucked up more water than any of the other ones, and we didn't water it fast enough, and it just completely shit out all the needles all over. Like before Christmas happened, it was literally like dead. So we had to get another one.
Literally like our table tree.
Yeah. So we just had to get another one. You know.
Absolutely. I don't understand the appeal of like, yeah, because I want to vacuum my living room I have 3 dogs. So, and they have zero spatial awareness. And it's just like a toddler.
Yeah.
And so they would run into it all the time, and I would have needles everywhere in the house.
I think it would be cool for the experience points to take the kids to chop down a tree one time. But it really only has to be that one time, just for the simple sake of doing it together. But outside of that, I mean, you can fake those smells, and you can get pine smell in a bar of soap, right, or a candle. So you don't necessarily need that in order to feel festive.
I've already set my candle up that smells like pine, and I don't even have a tree up in my living room. It's upstairs.
No. Yeah.
Little ornaments.
Yeah, they have the scent ornaments now that you can put on it that are
Really?
they're actually really strong.
That is American ingenuity right there, or wherever it came from. But that's ingenuity. That's smart. I like
They're
that.
actually really, the first time I ever saw them was when I was working at Baumgart's, and I was like, why? And then I opened one of them and was like,
It's just
oh,
it's pine air fresheners hanging on your fake tree.
I actually bought a set and put them in my car because I thought it was great.
I like the smell of pine. I don't
too.
need to smell the pine
I
to
don't
feel like
need a
it's
real
Christmas
one.
time.
I don't need a real one. All
You know,
over
if you
my
want to
living
fight
room.
me about it, fight me about it. Put it in the comments. Let's see some engagement here, right? So.
We're fighting people over Christmas now.
Yeah. But, anyways, you know, we can wrap it up. I'm assuming we made it through most of the bullet points. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please, actually, this would be a really cool thing if anybody finds time to write a sentence into a comment section. Tell us about your Christmas traditions, your favorite movies. We definitely need to vote on whether Will Ferrell is a good actor and comedian or not, so that we can all prove JD wrong.
He's a great comedian. Like I said, SNL's fun. It's just all of his
put him
more
down a
recent
little bit
movies
here.
are trash.
But anyways, we appreciate the engagement, and thank you guys for tuning in. You want to close us down here, big guy?
Yeah, I can close this down. We hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. Thanks for hanging out with us on this episode. We like doing these special episodes, so we hope that we get to keep doing them, so long as the engagement is great. So if you do the things Christian just talked about of dropping us a favorite Christmas tradition or favorite movie, any of those type of things.
Just hit us with a bunch of gifts with Mariah Carey thawing out of the ice. That's cool.
We would laugh every
I
single
would
time.
laugh at every one of them. We got another one. Yeah. So,
but any engagement is great engagement. So thank you for liking, subscribing, and following. That helps us more than you guys know. And we wish you a happy and safe holiday with you and your family. And please take time to enjoy that time with your people, whoever your people may be.
Well, I got one last piece to drop here, and I think it's a good fitting spot. We are going to be, well, actually, we're not going to be reading this book, 1st. It'll be a little bit later on. But we at Pride Roofing Construction subscribe to the go-giver mentality, and I think Christmas time is a great time to actually do that. What that means is, living a life where you give with no intention of reciprocation or get anything back, but the law of reciprocity in the world is that you get as much or more than you give out of the joy of other people's hearts for the warmth that you bring to them. So please apply that to Christmas. Don't be gimme people. Get out there, help some people, serve some people, serve some meals, do the things that you should be doing. Let's make sure that the world around you is as bright as this holiday is. But anyways, we'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah. Have a Merry Christmas.
You filthy animals.
Thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Into the Lion's Den. We appreciate your time, and we hope that you've gathered enough ammunition to go out, fight the good fight, and become a better person every single day. Please like and subscribe, engage in our content, ask us some questions. We'd love to tailor fit the next episode to you.